Hi, my name's Mark. I'm one of the pastors here at Trillium. There's a really famous story in the Gospel of John. Jesus has this interaction with the Samaritan woman by the well, an ancient well. And Jesus says this to her at some point in their interaction. He says, "The water that I will give will become in them a spring of water gushing up to eternal life." Centuries later, the Sufi Mystic Rumi wrote a poem based on this theme. And I want to read it to you. It's called "There Are Two Kinds of Intelligence." This is what he says. There are two kinds of intelligence. One is that acquired by a child at school, from books and teachers, new ideas, and memorization. Your intelligence may become superior to others, but retaining all that knowledge is a burden. You who are so busy searching for knowledge must be a preserving tablet, but the preserved tablet is the one who's gone beyond all this. For the other kind of intelligence is the gift of God. Its fountain is deep within the soul. When the water of God-given knowledge surges from the breast, it never stagnates or becomes impure. And if its way to the outside is blocked, well, what harm is there? For it flows continually from the house of the heart. The acquired intelligence is like the conduits which run into the house from the streets. If those pipes become blocked, the house is bereft of water. Seek the fountain within yourself. Rumi describes these two basic kinds of intelligence, what I, in short form, call brain intelligence and heart intelligence. Brain intelligence, the intelligence that comes from schooling and diplomas and practical knowledge. It's an intelligence that we dedicate ourselves in this life to. And then there's this other kind of knowledge, the knowledge that comes from, and the intelligence that comes from the deep soul, the heart, I say. It's a gift of God. It's a gift of God given to us, this other kind of intelligence. And I got to admit that I know a lot about that first brain intelligence, but I don't really know as much about that second heart or soul intelligence as I'd like. And yet, according to Jesus and Rumi, the second intelligence, the intelligence that comes from the soul, the heart, is more important of the two. It's the critical intelligence. It's the one that we were given into this world by a gift from God as part of our creation. And yet it's fallen asleep within us. Somehow we've lost connection with it. A friend of mine, his son is 18, almost 18. He's in his last year of high school, and he's just kind of burned out. He's lost his ambition for school. He doesn't see any purpose, and he wants to take a year or two off before going on to university. And his father's, he's not very happy about this. He's not content in himself to see his son take this time off. He's worried that his son will never get back there. Jesus said we need to be as innocent as doves and as wise as serpents. We need to have both that soul knowledge and intelligence, that soul intelligence, the intelligence of the heart. And we need that intelligence of the human intellect at work within us. And my friend, he's very wise in the world. He's smart, he's got diplomas, he's got accreditation, he makes big money. And he's not content with his son taking this time off from school because he doesn't want to ultimately see him working at a Kelsey's for the rest of his life. And in fact, the son is working part-time at Kelsey's. And this friend of mine actually said to the son that the people who work at Kelsey's are just a bunch of losers. And of course, that got the son's back up because he holds his work colleagues in high esteem. He really enjoys being a part of the team there. He enjoys it. And he wants to just take a couple years off, chill out, go live with a friend, just kind of be. And I'm wondering if in an intuitive sense, this young man is connecting or attempting to connect him with this other intelligence that lives within us, the intelligence that comes from the soul. Our culture puts so much esteem and effort into this brain intelligence. But where does someone go to find and learn about the intelligence of the heart? Jesus says, "For those who want to save their life will lose it, and for those who lose their life for my sake and for the sake of the gospel will save it." I don't think he's talking about some ultimate dramatics here. I think he's talking about the fact that we need to pursue first and foremost that heart-filled, soul-filled intelligence that lives within us. And if we put our emphasis exclusively or primarily on the brain intelligence, we're going to lose ourselves. In order to find ourselves, we need to become reconnected with that stream of life that lives so deep within us. One of the tragedies from my perspective is we've made religion into brain intelligence. We made brain intelligence the focus of a religion. We learn the form of religion, we learn the function of religion, we learn the surface level of religion, but we don't actually learn much about the soulfulness of it. We don't learn what's going on deeper under the surface of our lives. Religion of the brain, says if you just have the information of the Bible at your hands or some other sacred text, and you simply learn some forms of prayer, that you're going to be okay. That's going to get you to where you need to go when it comes to this deeper life that we're called to. But we all know in our lives that information in itself is not transformational. In this age of information, we have information at our fingertips. We're overflowing with information, but we're not necessarily wiser in life. We may know the need to quit smoking, but that doesn't necessarily get us to where we need to be. We may need to know we need to lose weight, or we need to exercise more, or a host of other activities. But that doesn't necessarily get us to doing it. We need the knowledge and the wisdom and the intelligence that comes from a deeper place that actually motivates us to do the things that we need to do in life, the important things. I'm a big fan of Anne of Green Gables. I just love it. The core of the story is these two older people, Marilla and Matthew, who are filled with brain intelligence. They meet this young woman who's filled with soul intelligence. And ultimately, these two older people, they save Anne from a life of real trouble and challenge in her. They set her on the path to gaining this brain intelligence. But in the midst of it all, Anne, blesses them with the reawakening of their hearts. They become awake to the heart of life in themselves. They have fallen asleep to the heart, but they become awakened to it. And Jesus and Rumi are calling us to reclaim this deeper intelligence of the heart that lives within us. It lurks under the surface of our lives, but it is the essential part of who we are, and we need to reclaim it for ourselves. And I'm going to encourage you to devote yourself to finding some community, some practice, some way of life that allows you to reconnect with your heart and the soul intelligence that wants to gush up life, abundant life in you. When you do that, you really will experience a new life, a new transformation. You will be transformed into the very being that you're meant to be, that you were created for. I pray that you'll take your brain intelligence seriously still, but that you'll put your heart intelligence at the forefront of your learning today. Go in peace. Make your heart intelligence the goal of your life.